Hello, traders. I haven't done a video for a week or so. I've been working quite a bit, but I was off work today and I made some money this morning and I just sat out and sit on my hands. Um, One of the major retail bellwethers are reporting tonight after hours, and that's Costco. And as of right here, right now, the retail sector is on a sell signal, and we are breaking the trend line set back from November 6th, potentially seeking out lower prices in our retail sector. Very important to know going into the Costco numbers. And it's quite important to know here that the price to volume ratio, we're actually hitting new lows here on the price to volume ratio on our daily. A lot of selling pressure. We're coming right, pivoting right off the day lows on our retail sector. And then in addition to that, I do have Costco puts for the earnings tonight. I've got enough in there if it goes against me, I'm not out a whole lot of money. Okay, that's how I play earnings. But I want you to look here. Costco has been on an amazing run. And unlike the rest of the markets, Costco has not come back in. We are on the backside of this trend line right here, right now, into the earnings season. So it's not even bearish if it comes back down to $200 for the overall markets. It just simply has not reset one so bit going into these numbers. So I just wanted to point this out here that we are well above the primary trend on Costco coming into a sell signal in retail. And we know what happened to Walmart. We know what happened to Target. And it's probably a pretty good odds trade that they're going to sell the news on Costco. Also, on my screener, on my thing, they were buying deep in the money puts on Best Buy going into this event. So Best Buy is a very high delta name, growth name, and if Costco comes in, it's likely to be mean that Best Buy is going to come in too. It's very susceptible to the Chinese tariff issues and everything, and if we do get this uh, sell off like I think we're about to have, there is a lot of room here for Best Buy to come in. Look how much it's already come in this month, and we're right here at range lows. And so it's there's a lot of reason to think that Best Buy is. And look, we just have a complete sell signal here on Best Buy. No, and it seems like it's even getting worse here. So um, nothing about this chart pattern suggests that there's a bounce in store anywhere here. And if you see how the earnings went, you know, we didn't get any type of responsive bounce from the earnings event back in November 20th. So, that right there, that's a big tell that the selling pressure is on, and it's going to be hard for it to recover. The next area of grave concern, that's your transports. We are breaking down a critical level today. Day one of the breakdown. So that's even makes it worse. We're right off the lows as of right now, but we have this critical distribution zone. Today we are breaking down. Uh, Not a very good sign at all for our transports. And the FedEx, I have mentioned many a times that FedEx, in my opinion, is going to 181 at least. And it was taking one. It kind of bounced just a little while ago, but they were throwing FedEx out to the wolves just a little while ago. So just keep this in mind. If retail's weak tomorrow, it's probably going to bring FedEx even lower. So yeah, this is the rapid fall area for the transports. So I don't even see any type of bid until the 170.67 area. So that means that we're probably going to come in for a quite a red day tomorrow. You know, anything can happen. Costco could take off and completely defy logic. I just don't see that happening with the money flows all negative on the retail sector right now. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and pop in FedEx. And if you notice, it had a little bitty bounce here on FedEx, but we're right at that 50% fib level, and that's where it's trying to hold for the day. And that's pretty, or the 50% fib area. So that's kind of, we got a little responsive buy into FedEx, trying to save this 50% fib. And we know from logic that you typically test the 61.8 before any type of meaningful traction in any type of bounce play. So somewhere between here, we're probably going to catch a bounce in the FedEx. It has had an amazing bounce in relatively short order this afternoon. So we'll see what happens. Look, it's already starting to give it back up. So yeah. But like I said, 181 is my target. And so easily could get that tomorrow. So just keep that in mind that FedEx is a major selling force for the markets right now. Another thing of very grave importance here, and that's our financials. We were right at channel lows coming in today, and we haven't improved one bit. I mean, long-term channel lows, and this thing, I am seeing a little bit of big bids, bullish bets for next week, and we do have a lot of banking stocks reporting on Tuesday. They're more of the regional banks, so we could see a responsive bid in the financials. So just keep that in mind. But on the flip side, seeing our financials breaking down or right at range lows, putting in value at range lows, that's fine in the short run. But too many days of that, and it's just going to break down, break that level. And so we do not want to see prices down here much longer if we can help it. So, but the money flows and stuff, the uptrend around December yesterday, the uptrend broke on the 5 minute and it just kind of, you see what has happened. It's just continued to bleed lower, and there's no signals here of any kind saying. So since that breakdown, so that happened about. Okay, so we got a high price right here. You put your trend line right there, and that's your new trend. And until we break out above that trend, the volume money flows have not improved. And so we'll see how the day closes. If at 4 o'clock we pop back above this trend line, I might actually take some swing longs to the overnight session in the financials. But for now, I don't see much reason to even risk it, knowing that this big sell signal in the retail space. Crude oil is trying to break out above trend today. I didn't hear the news, but it looks like there's a nice bid coming into our crude oil space. It started about 10 o'clock or 9:50 or so, and so the crude has had a nice little bid under it today. So that is a bullish stance for the markets potentially. And that coincides with our dollar index, so that suggests, gives you an idea why the crude is catching a bid potentially. And as of right now, it looks like the dollar might be catching a bid. We're crossing over trend right now, so just keep that in mind that the crude we got an hour and a half left in the session. We might be seeing the highs in crude right here with the double top. So just be wary of pressing your longs now, seeing the dollar potentially crossing over for a positive bullish sign in the trend. Another stock of grave concern that reports tonight, Adobe. This is one of the stocks that has just completely defied gravity on this sell down in the markets because they have software services. That's what they've been offering. And so far, we've heard software services have been pretty darn strong in the markets. So that's why you got to be careful taking your shorts in the overnight session because Adobe is similar to Salesforce.com or Workday, and they could surprise to the upside, driving the markets considerably higher in the morning, the Nasdaq especially. But look at how extended this pattern is on Adobe going into these earnings tonight, with the markets being on an extended sell signal. Is this something you really want to push to the upside, knowing the relative weakness in the markets? Personally, no, I don't want to, but I don't have any shorts on it. Okay, I just wanted to point this out for you guys to be aware that um, the Qs could have a bid under them tomorrow. Okay, the FDN ETF. This is the wait 1 second here. This is the Internet ETF. Deals with mostly the FANG stocks. And basically, once we've gotten into this fib fan zone, rejection. And then last time, rejection. And today, so far, it's showing we filled the gap and it's showing rejection. So until that trend changes, the sell side is still going to remain strong in the markets. But the fact that we have Adobe coming out tonight, this is a wild card that we can't predict. So just keep this in mind that if the trend remains the same as it has been, we're going to have a big sell off in the morning. But we will see. What can I say? I just don't know. Another stock of interest, Williams Sonoma. This is a retail stock. They are a lot of put action hitting this stock today. So just keep this in mind that it gapped down on earnings, and it looks like we're setting up for a continuation pattern lower on Williams Sonoma. And then we had Best Buy. I mentioned that. Now on the flip side, eBay was catching call activity today. So we did gap up off of earnings, but it's kind of just hanging out down here. So if Costco were to beat tomorrow, you might want to look at eBay in the morning for a potential bullish pattern, especially if there's comments about really strong online sales and stuff, internet related stuff from Costco. So just keep this in mind that eBay is catching quite a bit of interest going into Costco's earnings tonight. And if you go out here on the weekly, if I can get it to load, there you go. You see where it's at. It's come down considerably here. So and the money flows are pretty much they've improved. A lot of the areas the money flows are just are pegging out to the low side, but we do have a little bit of improvement in the money flows on eBay. They continue to press the calls on Merck, so just keep this one in mind here that they are still accumulating calls for further continuation to the upside. And this is a defensive play, so there is a big bet that the weakness in the markets are going to continue driving the healthcare sector, it seems like. So I wanted to point that one out. And this was a little surprising here. We had a little bit of improvement in the money flows in the emerging markets, and they were adding additional put protection at these levels today. I had several alerts come out with the so I just wanted to point that out that they are getting themselves staged in case we have another leg down into primary markets. And there's a good reason to have a little bit more insurance considering where the SPY and the Qs are set up going into the overnight session. And on our SPY, we're holding out up here the distribution box. It's a chop box, eating everybody alive on this chop box. My primary target has been 254.40 or the downside to finish the head and shoulders pattern, and we still have not come down to that. So until we get that, I'm still bearish on the markets overall, and I do think we're going to get that before Christmas. So just keep that in mind. The money flows are negative, continue to be negative on SPY. If you go into daily here, look at this. The money flows they keep getting worse. I mean, we basically all week long we're just pretty much flat on the money flows. Uh, so this is not a good situation on our SPY, especially our weekly chart pattern. Um, we've spent the entire week building out value down here at the low end of the range. Not a good situation going into the end of the week. And the Qs, load, they've done a little bit better, but still, we're still right down here at the bottoms of the range. So not overly bullish scenario. The end of the week. Uh, Adobe, of course, can surprise, but it sure looks like to me like we have a topping formation. And Qs are going to open up lower tomorrow, likely, because we seem to be putting in a lower low. We are having inside to Tuesday's candle, but we've given up more than 50% of that candle too. So, yeah, just some of my ideas. I'm more bearish now. I came in this morning thinking the financials were actually going to catch a nice little bid because of the. I actually saw the uh, inversion issue in the bonds seemed to be resolving. We were coming out of inversion and we're right back into it. So until that changes, I'm still bearish on the bonds. So um, good luck and good trading, and I will see you next time.